Hello and welcome to today's episode of Gardening with Ben. Make sure you grab yourself a brew, sit back, relax and enjoy today's podcast. If you've not subscribed to our channel, make sure you click the subscribe button to stay up to date with all our podcasts and get notified when new ones are launched. If you're not following us on social media, make sure you follow us on Facebook, Instagram and YouTube, Gardening with Ben. Also, I've recently been nominated for the Best Gardening Blogger and the Best Gardening Podcast by Grow Your Own magazine. So please try and help me and get these amazing awards by clicking on the link in the description and casting your vote for it. Voting closes at the end of July, so you've got plenty of time to do it, but don't do it until after you've finished listening to today's episode. So I hope you enjoy it. And let's get on with today's episode. So welcome to today's episode. It's now April, and yes, it has been a while since my last podcast, and there has been so much happening in my life right now, for the better that is, which I'll explain in this podcast and tell you everything what has been happening. My life has just changed dramatically over this last week. It's been such an amazing turnaround. I'm getting emotional just saying about it. But yeah, last week I applied for a new job. I wasn't enjoying my previous job, and I thought it's about time I started looking for something that I'm passionate about, that I enjoy doing, and that I want to do more of. So I applied for a job at a garden centre. Obviously, I know a lot about fruit and vegetables, but I'm not well up on flowers, which obviously I can learn a lot about and keep learning about, which will obviously help you as well as I'm learning about stuff. And I thought, I may not get this. And also online it did say that over 500 people had applied for it, which was again off-putting. But I thought, I'll go for it. And I applied for it, and I got it, and that was one of the best days of my life. I'm so happy with the job that I've got. I'm absolutely loving it. I'm watering the plants, I'm tending to the plants, I'm keeping an eye on them, I'm speaking to customers, interacting with people on a daily basis, which I absolutely love doing. I love talking to people. I'm a friendly person. I enjoy getting on with people. I hate it if people don't get on with me, because I always want to be nice to people. So I'm always trying to be nice to people. And so yeah, I'm absolutely loving this job. But like I said, there's so much to learn, and I'm going to put my heart and effort into it and learn all about the flowers. But obviously, if anybody comes to me asking about fruit and vegetables, I can give them excellent advice on that, as I've been growing fruit and veg now for 16 years, and that is one thing that I am passionate about, that I do know all about. Well, I'm still learning lots about it. There's always new things to learn about fruit and veg. So yeah, that's the first bit of news. And then 2 days later, after that, I realised I'd been nominated for 2 awards for Grow Your Own magazine. I've been nominated for the Best Gardening Blogger, and for that one I am up against Alan Titchmarsh and Monty Don. I know, I can't believe that. I'm up against 2 legends in the gardening business. So I really do need you to click that link in the description below to vote for me, because there's people in other categories that are asking for them to vote for them, obviously. So if they're just flicking through the questions to get to their vote, they'll just be clicking on anybody that they know, and obviously they won't know Gardening with Ben, but they'll know the celebrities, so they'll vote for like Alan Titchmarsh. So I really do need you to vote for me in that category. And also I'm up for the Best Gardening Podcast, which I'm impressed about as well, because I've only been doing this about 4 or 5 months. I keep dropping off it, but I keep coming back and doing some more episodes for you to listen to, and I really do need to get into the swing of recording more episodes regularly for you. So I do apologise that. So please do vote for Best Gardening Podcast, and that will encourage me to do you lots of episodes regularly, and it will make my year. It's been a bit of a bad year for everybody, and it's been quite bad for me, but I don't really want to go into that, it's personal. But I do hope you can spend 1 minute just voting in the below link. It only takes a minute. Only details you have to give is your name and your email address, and just make sure you click that no to getting spammed by messages that you don't want. So yeah. So what has been happening on the allotment recently? Well, when I went down there today, it was absolutely freezing. It was absolutely perishing down at the allotment. It did try snowing when I first woke up this morning. So I spent most of it in the shed today. But what's happening down at the plot at the moment? Where are we up to? Well, I've planted my first lot of potatoes. They've got in the ground. I do stick to the wives' tale that say about planting potatoes around Good Friday. So that's when I usually stick to planting them. I know it changes every year, but it's something to do with the moon. So I've always planted my potatoes around Good Friday. I've still got another batch to plant. But fingers crossed I may get them done tomorrow. I have now planted literally most of my vegetable seeds. I've still got quite a few left to do. I've still got my beans to do, but I'm waiting a couple of weeks for them because I don't want them to get too long before planting out, because I won't be planting them out until the chance of frost has passed. I did used to try planting runner beans in the ground, but the mice ate them or the pigeons ate them. And if you grow them in the shed and get them nice and big first, it will prevent them from being damaged as much. Obviously you'll still need to net them, but they'll stand a better chance of surviving getting attacked by anything. So I've still got my beans to do, and I've still got my peas to do. I've not done my peas yet. All my flowers are growing nicely in the allotment. Today I spent the most of the day potting up my marigolds, my cornflower and my dahlias. We've still got quite a few other flowers growing. We've got some geraniums growing, we've got some carnations growing, and we've got some calendula growing, but I just need to get some more plant pots to start them off in. So we'll be starting them calendula off in pots. I'm separating them all so that they can grow stronger. They're currently in seed trays and I just scatter all the seeds everywhere, so they're fighting for the nutrients in the compost and the water. So I like to separate them off into separate pots first and get them growing a bit stronger and bigger before planting them outside. So yeah, we're pretty much doing well with them. I've planted all my broad beans. They're all out in the ground. I've not seen any popping through yet, so I've got to keep my eye on them. It doesn't look like they're being attacked by anything, for any mice or anything, so I'm pleased about that. I've also got my white onions in. A few of them are starting to sprout now, so they're coming on along pretty good. I've obviously got my garlic in. That's doing well. I still need to get my red onions in. I'll be planting them possibly this week or next week. I read up that you need to leave them a bit later, red onions, to stop them from bolting as easy. I never have much luck with red onions at all, so I'm going to be trying that, starting them a bit later than the white onions to see if it has a better effect on them. Also, I'm growing some white onions from seed, which I've not done before, so I'm going to compare which ones does better, white onions from seed or white onions from sets. So that'll be a good experiment for you all to see how I get on with and see which ones turn out the best. Also, there's fruit trees. My plum tree is absolutely covered in blossom. It's absolutely beautiful at the moment. I can't believe how nice it is. I still need to prune that. I did read about pruning it this month, but someone mentioned to me that I shouldn't be pruning it yet because of the frost. But I've always pruned it right now and I still get a great crop from it. So I'm going to be pruning that soon and getting that on the way. I checked my rhubarb today and that is absolutely beautiful. It's looking like I'll be pulling off my first lot of rhubarb pretty soon. So I'm pleased about that. Who can not resist a good rhubarb crumble? So everything is looking pretty good on my allotment at the moment. It's all coming along pretty well. I've still got quite a lot of beds left to build. We're getting there with that, and then they all need painting to make them look posh and nice for you all to see on the photos, to make it look prettier rather than just the old wood, which it'll look like. It's better if it looks a bit more nice and effective for you all. So we've got that to do, and then after all that's completed, I will be concentrating on my new herb patch, which I want to start this year and get going, as I've got a couple of herbs on my plot. I've got some lemon balm and I've got some thyme, but I would like a lot bigger herb patch for my plot, not necessarily just to use, but also for the bees and for the fragrance, and to make it smell nice, as well as have it as a nice seating area to sit on my plot and look at all the hard work that I have done. So yeah, it's all coming along pretty well, and like I said, I'm going to be recording a lot more podcasts now, so I do apologise for that. So make sure you click that subscribe button to stay up to date with them all. So thanks for listening to today's episode. Thank you for listening to today's episode of Gardening with Ben. I hope that you have enjoyed it, and make sure you do click that subscribe button to stay up to date with all our podcasts and get notified when they do launch. And feel free to follow us on all our social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram and YouTube, Gardening with Ben. And if you do have 1 minute, please do vote for me in the Grow Your Own magazine awards for Best Gardening Blogger and Best Gardening Podcast. The link is below, and there is also a link to our merchandise where you can get hoodies and t-shirts and a Gardening with Ben mug. So check them out today. Until next time, keep gardening.